Into the Fire is a story that takes place in the late 19th century, centering around a doctor who is called to visit a mysterious hacienda in the middle of rural Colombia to treat an equally mysterious young boy.
This movie has elements of the supernatural. It has themes of faith and religion. Ultimately, this is a film that asks of the audience to be a part of the journey.
One important thing is just a fight between beliefs and science, the loneliness, and how can we deal with it.
It's really a film about these two strong currents, whether it's reason and feeling and what's right and wrong. It's the battle against the good and evil, I guess.
The main point is not the killing and the scary parts, but the interaction with a psychologist.
Even the boy lives in his own world. We could say that he's by himself, alone. In town, everybody thinks he has to be with my son.
Do you walk out of the movie and consider he's just misunderstood, or no, he has supernatural powers, and questioning those judgments? So I think that's kind of our special sauce.
I wanted to meet this man who was writing these complex, nuanced, strong female characters set in even more nuanced, complex, interesting stories that I hadn't read before or seen before.
It's a really ambitious movie. It's a period movie. It's an independent film. Everything with a period movie is hard. So the wardrobe is hard, and hair is hard, and visual effects components that are difficult. It's an ambitious movie, but we have a really incredible team.
I play Dr. Grace, a pioneer of sorts. She is a doctor at a time when no other women were occupying that field. And she's kind of thrust into a world that is not her own, a culture that is very foreign to her, and one that is entrenched in deep religious belief and superstition. Through the course of the story, everything that she understands about the natural world and everything that she has based her sense of self in is questioned and challenged. And she really is put into a situation where she must, despite it all, believe in herself, even though everything around her is falling apart.
I play the boy. The people in the village think he's a demon. He's the devil. So this psychologist is trying to cure him, to bring him back his emotions.
Villagers are getting more convinced every time that is my son who is causing everything. We can talk about this subject nowadays perfectly. So the problem of my character is that he is a believer himself. He believes in God. He's been educated as Catholic. And he believes in these kind of things, the priests say, but at the same time he's his son. So he lives in between these two huge enemies.
It's a film that's very grounded also for the time that we live in. I think that it's definitely a relevant film.
We spent hours and hours and hours rehearsing together on Zoom, and then once we were all together here in Italy, we started rehearsing in person because we were using every second of time, and they are so prepared.
It's been a blessed experience, absolutely. And if I say so, wearing this.
Buona silenzio. Facci la buona. We're ready.
And action.
That just called to me and started writing a story about it, and kind of the pieces came into place. It's something I'm passionate about.
It is in many ways a classic thriller or horror film, but in so many ways it's fresh and new. It's been a real challenge and a joy to be a part of it.
In Colombia, where the film is set, we have civilization coming in, a character like Grace that comes from New York, which is the center of rationality and progress, coming into a rural area like this, where religion and superstition have such a strong hold. still on people's minds and hearts.
The different thing of this film is that it's not only a thriller. It has suspense, it has very good drama.
I'm heartened by the fact that every time I look over at Connor, he's about 3 inches from the video screen. You know, he's observing everything. And because these are his words and his story, he cares deeply about it. And the actors are no different. You know, I feel incredibly lucky to be working with this cast.
They're funny and they're nice and it's working very well.
I think I grabbed Amber and Lorenzo the other day and I just said, I don't know where we would be if you guys weren't so dialed in. I don't know how we would be getting this movie made.
Working on such a dark film and at the same time having worked with Amber, who's so much light in this artist, in this woman and this actor, and so incredibly available in every moment that all you gotta do is just tune into that, and the characters and the words just flow out.
I really admire Amber and her performance. She's a really nice person, not only good actress, and she's really involved in the project.
One very cool thing about this movie, you know, especially related to Italy, is that we're basically shooting in a 500-year-old castle, and you know, that's its own sort of special thing every day.
Working with an Italian crew is very different. There's a lot of energy, a lot of smoking and espresso, and a lot of noise and fun and life and vibrancy, and it's been quite an experience. I've had a great time. Puglia is beautiful.
I don't know why, but I knew it was going to happen. But when they called me, I said, no, I can't. I don't speak Italian. But it's not so different from Spanish, so we could make it.
To be in an apartment that's in a city that's literally thousands of years old, and I'm right next to a cathedral, and art is kind of all around me, and I don't know that I've ever been in that situation before.
And action!
It's been a dream to work with Connor. Connor is an incredible director. He's a very enthusiastic human being, and that always works with me.
I love his brave approach to storytelling. You know, it shouldn't be this way, it's sad, but it's remarkably brave and it's unusual to meet a man who is not only willing to place a female character at the center of their story, but one who genuinely is driven by that.
He's got a very good idea of what he wants, but then at the same time, he's a really smart guy and he's gonna be open to listen. I think he's doing a great job.
I have worked with kids before, but never like this. For a kid of that age to be able to come in and do, you know, a 5-page day, 5 or 6 scenes, he's wearing contact lenses, and so he's basically performing blind and, you know, totally off book, totally keyed in.
Ma questo è attaccato a che cosa?
What makes it unique is that there's like this contrast between science and religion. So like the psychologist wants to show to the people that I'm not a devil.
So interesting to work with. He's a little kid, but he's not in so many ways. He's perfect for this role.
He doesn't look like 11 years old at all because he's really smart and he seems to be experienced, and he gives us ideas of how we have to shoot or how we have to do one thing or another.
Not only is he like doing a good job of what's asked of him, but he's bringing ideas. What if I tried this? Usually it's a good note, and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna take credit for that when the movie comes out.